Hey everyone, welcome to Taking the Pulse, a healthcare and life sciences podcast. I am Heather Hoops Matthews. We are coming to you live today from SCBIO's 2023 annual conference. It's one of the Southeast region's premier life sciences event. And Matthew Roberts, I'm really excited about our first guest.
Yes, we have a superstar in our midst.
Superstar, a trailblazer in life sciences, Lou Kennedy. She is CEO of Nephron Pharmaceuticals. That is a leading manufacturer of generic respiratory and 503B outsourcing medication headquartered in the Midlands. Lou, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, since 2017, I have watched in the news and cheered as you've had a series of expansions and partnerships and big wins. And then earlier this morning, I was in the auditorium when you were honored for your contributions to the life sciences industry. Tell me a little bit about your passion for growing the industry in the Palmetto State.
Well, I started serving as the chairman of SCBIO in 2017 when there were only a handful of members. And it has been my great pleasure to help grow it and watch the growth that either I've had the pleasure of touching the growth or being a part of it, or at least knowing about it from the ground floor. So the membership has grown by 5 or 6 times. The budget has grown. And the excitement and the fever pitch of all of it is really just, you want to be around it. It's inspiring to me.
Yes.
Well, you're from South Carolina. You know the economic development story for the state and how Greenville and Charleston have had a lot of explosive growth. Nephron is one of the fastest growing and biggest companies in the Midlands. Do you think you and Nephron could be an example for further growth in the Midlands?
I certainly hope so. I feel like we're on fire. Lexington County had record number announcements this past year, as did Richland County, and much of the excitement are existing companies who, just like us, are expanding. So we more than doubled the size of our existing footprint. We've continue to build a company for injection molding called InjectDZ, and we've recently opened Nephron Nitrile. So there's over 1 million square feet in our industrial park that's just Nephron family.
Right.
So we started with 400,000 and we're now about 1.2 million.
Wow, what a success.
And that Nephron Nitrile, so it's a $150 million expansion, right?
That's correct.
Okay, what do you do, and tell me a little bit about the economic impact.
Well, during COVID, I was swept up in the all of the movement to get things onshore, reshored, back to the United States, particularly back to South Carolina. And part of that was to set up a vaccine drive-through line. Part of that was to do COVID testing. We opened our first molecular biology lab. But then I had an idea passed to me, wouldn't I like to help with the PPE space? Well, Nephron Nitrile had a catchy ring to it, so we decided to embark on that journey in July, just over a year ago. So I'm pleased to say we've moved in. Just a week or so ago, we were granted FDA 510K approval on a medical exam grade glove, and our facility is now FDA registered. So in less than 2 years, we saw our dream become a reality. And we also know there were 23 announcements for American-made nitrile glove plants. Only 3 will open, and they think ours is they call it the nitrile providers, the Amazon of glove making.
That's fantastic.
Another example of inspiration, ideas, innovation coming from COVID.
Right,
So,
right.
A lot of pivoting.
Yes.
In fact, we coined a phrase the January after COVID started. Our company, I would say, mantra is pivotability. We made up the word.
It's a great word. So we've had some students here at this conference. What would you tell students and young people who are considering a career in life sciences? When I came up, that wasn't even an option, but now we know it is.
Well, just 10, 20 minutes ago, I offered 2 internships for this summer. Hopefully they'll be hired in May when they graduate a year from now. So we're constantly looking for new talent and looking for the holes in our workforce that we need to fill. And I will tell you that a gentleman said this earlier, find your passion. I love what I do. I get up every day excited to do what we do. I feel great about making life-saving medications. And so if you can find your passion, you can be good at it. And so another phrase I've heard used quite a bit is you have to see it to be it. So it's important that my colleagues and I offer internships and apprenticeships and capstone projects and anything we can to get students in, even as early as middle school or elementary school, and see these are things that you could dream to be. And we're forever agreeing to speak in front of students, teachers, any of these. MEBA is one of the groups that talks about how do we get, skills in the classroom that help local employers. And so we participate in any way that we can, because that's all recruiting.
And these jobs in life sciences aren't all scientific. You don't have to be a PhD to have a
we
great
have
career.
everything from accounting, HR, security, shipping, logistics. I mean, I think everything but cosmetology. We're pretty much loaded up.
I'm not going to mark anything out of the horizon for you. You'll find a way.
Really.
What about opportunities for partnerships and research and development with some of the universities in our state?
Well, I'm at liberty to speak about something that's going on right now. There's a partnership between MUSC will be performing clinical trials it's imminent and about to start in the coming weeks for a inflammatory lung disease product. Nephron will make the drug. The inventors of the drug are sprinkled all over Europe, and we are excited that the trials will be done, and hopefully we will be able to introduce a drug made in South Carolina, clinical trials performed in South Carolina, and it will treat long COVID. We may be the first to market to be able to help these poor patients with long COVID and other inflammatory lung diseases. So another part of me being swept up during COVID with ideas and things, and all of that is possible. That whole scenario all happened out of a chance meeting from an SCBIO occurrence. So the Europeans were looking at South Carolina as a great place to possibly do business. They saw in a presentation our facility, what's made there, and they said respiratory meds. Well, they didn't know that was what they were in effect looking for. So we started talking. My husband and I ended up investing in the company. All that from a very quiet chance meeting between the Charleston Economic Development Arm, SCBIO. They saw our picture. The next day they were in our building, and that was 2 years ago. And that's exciting stuff.
Wow, that's a huge blessing for the state.
Well, I mean, there's so many opportunities for all the members of SCBIO to find ways to work together. There's just so many. We heard earlier today from Abbott Laboratories, and we've had an ongoing 18-month project with another whole division of Abbott. And I had introduced, because, that's a huge company.
Sure.
And I said, believe it or not, we're working with your company.
So in many ways, you have become the face of the life sciences industry and a mentor to many. I mean, some of our life sciences clients, they give you a lot of credit. They go to you when they have questions, concerns about this.
Probably because I've done lots of things wrong, and I can instruct them on how to do it right.
But how does it feel to be such a mentor and to be such an integral part of this vast, fast-growing industry in the state?
Well, I don't see myself as a mentor, but I do see myself as a person who wants to serve. And if I'm asked questions, or if someone wants to find out about what it's like to be a woman in business, for example, as long as I can fit it in my schedule, I'll participate, because I want the young ladies of this state to see a different role for women in South Carolina. Coming along, teachers and nurses were kind of the role models for us here when I was 10, 11, 12. I want the girls of this state to know they can do anything they want. Here I am with a journalism degree and have the great honor and privilege to work in a company like we have. It's a dream come true for a little girl growing up in Lexington County.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, I had my daughter, who's now 17, 5 years ago, at Nephron doing a tour, not expecting to run into you. You saw us, brought us into your office. She still talks about it to this day, so she might end up in the life sciences industry. Who knows?
I hope so.
Yes.
We're hiring.
Lou, thank you for all the work that you do for our state, for the industry, and for people in need of good health care. You are an important player in that industry, in our health, and we're honored that you would join the Pulse today. On behalf of Matthew and our home team, thank you, and congrats on the award.
Thank you so much. I love it.
We know you do. That's evidence. For those of you who joined us today, we hope you enjoyed this conversation with Lou Kennedy, truly a trailblazer in the life sciences industry. If this is just your first podcast from SCBIO, make sure to check out the rest. We are going to talk with a lot of influencers in this industry over the coming hours during the conference right here, 2023 in Charleston, South Carolina. On behalf of the Taking the Pulse crew, we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for joining us.